Think about every surface in the room your budgie could land on right now. The cage top, the perch, the curtain rod, the shelf, the windowsill. Dozens of options. Safe, stable, high. And they chose your shoulder. A moving, breathing, unpredictable surface attached to the largest creature in the room. Every survival instinct they have should scream no, and yet there they are, right next to your face, right next to your mouth, voluntarily. That's not a casual decision. That is one of the most psychologically loaded choices a prey animal can make. And depending on how they're sitting, which direction they're facing, and which shoulder they picked, they're telling you something so specific, most owners will live their entire lives without ever hearing it. Subscribe, your budgie's body language has been speaking. Time you started listening. There's a reason your budgie doesn't sit on the table next to you, or the chair behind you, or your lap. Height. In a wild flock, perching position isn't about comfort. It's about rank, trust, and survival. The highest perch goes to the bird with the most social confidence. And the bird they perch beside at that height is their chosen companion, not randomly, deliberately. When your budgie flies past every elevated surface and lands on your shoulder, they are executing a flock behavior so ancient it predates every cage, every living room, every human interaction their species has ever had. They're choosing the highest point on the most important being in the room. But that's just the starting point, because how they sit there changes everything. 1. Facing outward, posture tall, eyes scanning. If your budgie sits on your shoulder facing away from you, chest out, head moving in small, deliberate scans, body upright, they are not relaxing. They're working. In wild flocks, certain birds take on the role of sentinel. They position themselves at the edge of the group, elevated, and they watch, not for food, not for fun, for danger. The rest of the flock eats, grooms, plays because one bird gave up those things to stand guard. Your budgie is doing that for you. They chose your shoulder as their watchtower, and from that position, they are scanning the room for anything that might threaten the one thing sitting directly beneath them, you. They didn't just trust you, they enrolled themselves in your protection. A bird the size of your fist decided the large, clumsy mammal underneath them was worth guarding. You'll never look at that little alert posture the same way again. 2. Tucked into your neck, feathers loose, eyes barely open. This is the one that undoes people. When your budgie slides off the top of your shoulder and tucks into the curve of your neck, feathers puffed, body soft, eyes at half-mast, they have done something that breaks every rule of prey animal survival. They've exposed their entire body to your hands, positioned themselves inches from your mouth, turned their back to the open room, and started falling asleep. A budgie in the wild would die in this position. Every predator instinct says don't, and your budgie overrode all of it because the signal your body sends, your warmth, your breathing rhythm, your heartbeat vibrating faintly through your skin, registered as something stronger than fear. This is what safe feels like. I don't need to watch anymore. I don't need to be ready. I just need to be here. That is not affection the way humans define it. That is a prey animal surrendering its survival instincts to your presence. There is no higher trust a budgie can offer. 3. Refusing to leave. Panicking when you reach for them. But not every shoulder sit is a love letter. If your budgie clings to your shoulder and lunges at your hand when you try to move them, if they panic, flap, bite, scream when you attempt to place them back on the cage, this is not a budgie who loves being close to you. This is a budgie who is terrified of being away from you. There's a line between bonding and dependency, and shoulder sitting is exactly where it blurs. A dependent budgie doesn't sit on your shoulder for connection. They sit there because everywhere else feels like abandonment. The shoulder isn't home. It's the only place the anxiety stops. And if your budgie lunges at other people, or birds who approach while they're perched on you, that's not loyalty either. That's mate guarding, hormonal, possessive. A behavior that escalates quietly until one day your budgie draws blood from someone who simply walked too close. Neither of these is your fault, but both need gentle redirection. Short shoulder sessions with calm, consistent returns to the cage, rewarding independent perching, slowly teaching them that safety exists in more places than one. 4. Left shoulder, right shoulder. It's not random. Here's something almost no owner has ever thought about. Which shoulder does your budgie prefer? Budgies have lateralized brains. Their left eye feeds the right hemisphere, the side that processes familiar things, social bonds, comfort. Their right eye feeds the left hemisphere, the side that scans for novelty and threat. A budgie who consistently sits on your left shoulder is keeping their left eye toward your face, the eye connected to recognition, to bonding, to I know this one. A budgie on your right shoulder is keeping their right eye on you, the threat assessment eye. That doesn't necessarily mean they're afraid, but it means their brain is still running a background calculation every time your head moves. Most owners never notice the preference, but once you do, you'll realize your budgie has been telling you which neurological mode they operate in around you, comfort or caution. And that single detail, which shoulder, which eye, says more than 100 chirps ever could. There's a moment you can create right now that will tell you everything. Next time your budgie is on your shoulder, settled and calm, slowly turn your head toward them. Not fast, not sudden, just a gentle rotation until your face is close to theirs. Watch what happens in the next half second. If they stay, if their feathers remain soft, if they lean slightly toward your face or make a small, quiet sound, you are flock, possibly more. That budgie just let the largest predator feature in the room, your forward-facing eyes, your mouth, your breath, move directly into their space, and they didn't flinch. If they duck slightly, but stay, you're trusted, but you're still big, still being calculated. That's not failure. That's a bird in the middle of deciding. If they bolt, don't take it personally, but don't ignore it either, because that half-second flinch is the most honest answer your budgie will ever give you. No performance, no mixed signals, just raw, unfiltered instinct telling you exactly where you stand. And wherever that is, it's not permanent. It's a snapshot. Tomorrow, you could be one answered call, one slow blink, one quiet evening closer to a different answer entirely. Every second your budgie spends on your shoulder is a sentence in a conversation you were never taught to hear. The direction they face, the eye they watch you with, whether they puff or press, whether they stay or flee when your head turns. None of it is random. All of it is language. And now, you speak it. Your budgie chose your shoulder over every safe surface in the room. The least you can do is understand why. Like if you just realized your budgie's been talking this whole time. Follow, we're translating everything they've ever tried to say.